My name is Maya Thompson and I'm 32 years old. The crystal chandelier above the dining table caught the light as my brother Marcus stood up, wine glass raised, smiling like he'd already won the lottery. What happened next would shatter our family forever, but here's the twist, I was the only one holding all the cards. I have an announcement, Marcus said, his voice dripping with that familiar arrogance that made my jaw clench. The entire family, Mama, Daddy, our sister Keisha, Uncle Jerome, Aunt Patricia, all turned to face him. My fork froze halfway to my mouth. Something in his tone made my stomach drop. I've decided to sell the house, he declared, gesturing grandly like he was doing us all a favor. The old family home. You know, the one Mama and Daddy put in my name last year for safekeeping. He actually made air quotes. The audacity. My mother gasped. My father's face went pale. But Marcus kept smiling, already counting invisible money in his head. It's worth about 400,000 now. The market's hot. I've already got a buyer lined up, closing in 30 days. He looked directly at me then, that smirk playing on his lips. Sorry, Maya. I know you have some kind of sentimental attachment. But business is business. The room erupted. Voices overlapped, shock, confusion, anger. But I sat perfectly still, my heart pounding against my ribs like a war drum. Because Marcus didn't know. None of them knew what I'd been doing for the past 8 months. The secret I'd been keeping. The move I'd already made. I took a slow sip of water, meeting his eyes across the table. Wait for it, I thought. Just wait. Let me take you back so you understand how we got here. Marcus Jerome Thompson, 6 feet tall, charming smile, MBA from a prestigious university that Daddy bragged about to anyone who'd listen. The golden child. The son who could do no wrong even when he was doing everything wrong. Me. I was the quiet one. The daughter who worked 2 jobs to put herself through community college. The one who sent money home when Mama's medication got too expensive. The invisible child who never made waves, never demanded attention, never expected the spotlight because it was never mine to begin with. Growing up, the difference was stark. Marcus got the new Jordans, I got hand-me-downs from our cousin. He got a car for his 16th birthday, I got a bus pass and a maybe next year, baby girl. When he flunked out of his first semester, Daddy called it finding himself. When I got a B instead of an A, it was why can't you try harder? The family home, a beautiful 3-bedroom craftsman with a wraparound porch that Daddy built with his own hands in 1992, that was supposed to be all of ours. Our legacy. Our foundation. But last Christmas, everything changed. I remember walking into the living room and seeing Marcus and Daddy huddled over paperwork. Just a formality, Daddy had said when I asked. Putting it in Marcus's name for estate planning. Tax purposes. He'll take care of it for the family. I felt the warning bells then. Soft. Distant. But there. What about Maya? Mama had asked quietly. Marcus is the oldest, Daddy replied, like that explained everything. Like my 15 years of sacrifice meant nothing. He'll do right by everyone. I should have fought then. But I didn't. I smiled. Nodded. Swallowed the bitter pill like I always did. 3 months after that Christmas, I was working my night shift at the hospital. I'm a nurse, been one for 7 years, when I got a call from my mother. She was crying, that kind of crying that makes your chest hurt just hearing it. Maya, baby, we might lose the house. My hands went cold. What? What are you talking about? Marcus, he took out a loan. Against the house. Said it was for an investment opportunity. But baby. Her voice cracked. The investment fell through. He owes $60,000 and the bank is threatening foreclosure. I couldn't breathe. The hospital hallway spun around me. $60,000. On a house that wasn't even his to gamble with. Where's Daddy? I managed to ask. At home. He won't talk about it. Just sits in his chair staring at the wall. She sobbed harder. Marcus says he can fix it. Says he just needs time. But Maya, I'm scared. I'm so scared. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in my small apartment, the one bedroom I'd lived in for 5 years because I sent most of my money home, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to let this happen. I wasn't going to watch my parents lose everything because of Marcus's ego and stupidity. I called my best friend Denise at 2 in the morning. I need to know about real estate law, I said. Everything about it. And I need to know now. Girl, what are you planning? She asked. War, I replied. I'm planning war. For the next 6 months, I worked triple shifts. Picked up every overtime hour available. Stopped eating out completely. Cancelled my streaming services. Sold my car and took the bus. I watched my savings account grow slowly, painfully. 20,000, 30,000, 45,000. But saving wasn't enough. I needed a strategy. That's when I met James Crawford, a real estate attorney who attended my church. After service one Sunday, I pulled him aside. I need your help, I said, and I need you to keep it confidential. James, mid-50s, silver hair, kind eyes that had seen plenty of family drama, nodded slowly. Tell me what's going on. I laid it all out. The house. Marcus's debt. The foreclosure threat. My parents' blind faith in their son who was drowning them. Can I buy the house from the bank? I asked. Before the foreclosure goes through. James was quiet for a long moment, his fingers drumming on the church pew. It's complicated. But. He pulled out a business card. Let me make some calls. If there's a way, we'll find it. 2 weeks later, I sat in his office, my heart racing as he explained the plan. The bank wants their money. They don't care who pays it. If you can cover the debt plus fees, about 75,000 total, and if Marcus agrees to sell, the house could be yours. 75,000. I had 53,000 saved. I needed 22,000 more. That's when James said something that changed everything. Or, we wait. Let the foreclosure process continue. When the house goes to auction, you can bid on it. It's risky, someone else might outbid you, but the starting price is usually the debt amount. Might be your best shot. I thought about Mama's tears. Daddy's silent staring. The house that held every childhood memory. How long until auction? I asked. 4 months. Maybe 5. Then I wait, I said. And I save every penny I can. What I didn't tell James, what I couldn't tell anyone, was the rage burning in my chest. Not hot rage. Cold rage. The kind that plans. The kind that waits. The kind that wins. Those next 4 months were hell. Pure, concentrated hell. I worked 70-hour weeks. My feet ached constantly. I developed stress headaches that felt like knives behind my eyes. I lost 15 pounds because I was living on ramen and peanut butter sandwiches. My coworker Shanice noticed. Girl, you're working yourself to death. What's going on? Just saving for something important, I told her, measuring medications for the night rounds. Must be real important if you're killing yourself over it. She had no idea. Meanwhile, Marcus was living his best life. New Mercedes. Fancy suits. I'd see his social media posts, bottles of expensive champagne, steakhouse dinners, weekend trips to Miami. All while Mama and Daddy ate anxiety for breakfast and dread for dinner. I went to visit them one Saturday. The house, my house, though nobody knew it yet, looked tired. Paint peeling on the porch rails. The garden Mama loved was overgrown because she was too depressed to tend it. Where's Marcus? I asked, helping Mama with dishes. Who knows, she said quietly. Haven't seen him in 2 weeks. Doesn't return our calls. Daddy sat in the living room, the TV on but his eyes somewhere else. Somewhere far away and dark. We're going to lose it, aren't we? Mama whispered, tears streaming down her face. Everything your daddy built. Everything we worked for. I hugged her tight, my own tears hot against my cheeks. No, Mama, I said. I promise you. You're not going to lose it. She pulled back, confused. Baby, there's nothing we can do. The auction is next month. Trust me, I interrupted, gripping her shoulders. Just trust me. The morning of the auction, I woke up at 5 a.m. My hands shook as I brushed my teeth. I'd done it. Scraped together $78,000. Every single penny I had in the world, plus a small loan from Denise, who believed in me when nobody else did. James met me at the courthouse steps. You ready for this?
Bon ready, elite.
I was terrified. What if someone outbid me? What if I'd sacrificed everything for nothing? The auction room was smaller than I expected. Cold. Sterile. About 15 people scattered in folding chairs. James squeezed my hand. Property number 724, the auctioneer announced. 3-bedroom craftsman, 1,200 square feet. Opening bid, $65,000. My hand shot up before my brain caught up. 65,000. 70,000, a man in the back called out. My stomach dropped. 75,000, I countered, my voice stronger than I felt. Silence. The auctioneer scanned the room. 75,000 going once, going twice. 80,000, the man said. No, 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 no. I couldn't go higher. I didn't have it. But then James leaned over and whispered, call his bluff. Most auction flippers won't go above 85 for a house that needs work. 85,000, I said, my heart hammering so hard I thought everyone could hear it. The room held its breath. The man in the back shifted, looked at his phone, finally shook his head. 85,000 going once, twice. Sold to bidder number 12. I'd done it. The house was mine. Mama and Daddy's house. My childhood home. It was mine. I sobbed right there in the courthouse, James's hand on my shoulder. Congratulations, he said. Now comes the hard part. Here's what nobody tells you about owning property. The paperwork is endless. For 8 months, I worked with James to finalize everything. Title transfer. Deed recording. Tax assessments. Every I dotted. Every T crossed. Why so thorough? I asked during one of our meetings, signing my 100th document. Because, James said, looking at me over his glasses, when you drop this bomb on your family, and you will drop it, you need to be bulletproof. No loopholes. No technicalities. No room for Marcus to wiggle out or challenge you. Smart man. During those months, I played my role perfectly. The quiet sister. The dependable daughter. I showed up for family dinners. Smiled when Marcus bragged about his latest business venture. Listened to Mama worry about what's going to happen to us. It was torture. Every cell in my body wanted to scream. I fixed it. I saved you. But I held it in. Timing was everything. I also did something else. I hired a contractor, Mama's cousin Donald, who'd always been fair and honest, to start repairs on the house. Quietly. When my parents were out. Maya, what's this about? Donald asked when I handed him the first check. Just trust me. Fix the porch. Repair the roof leak. Paint the exterior. Make it beautiful again. Whose money am I using? I smiled. Mine. It's my house now, Uncle Donald. But that's between us. His eyes went wide. Girl, you bought. Sure. Not yet. Soon. But not yet. The house transformed slowly. Fresh paint, the same green Daddy had originally chosen. New porch rails. Fixed gutters. A restored garden that would make Mama cry happy tears. And through it all, Marcus remained clueless. Too busy living large. Too self-absorbed to notice. Too confident in his untouchable position as the golden child. Then came the call that changed everything. It was a Tuesday, around 8 p.m. I was folding laundry when my phone buzzed. Keisha. Our sister. Maya, you need to know something, she said, her voice tight with anger. I just overheard Marcus talking to some investor guy. He's planning to sell the house. What? He doesn't own the house anymore. It was auctioned. He doesn't know that. Nobody told him. He thinks the bank is just giving them time. He's planning to swoop in, save the day, and sell it out from under Mama and Daddy. My blood ran cold. What do you mean? He's telling this investor that he has power of attorney, that our parents are old and confused, that he can sell it for $400,000 and they'll split the profit. Maya, he's literally planning to con them and make it look legal. The rage I'd been carefully controlling for 8 months nearly exploded. When is he doing this? He's planning some big family dinner. Friday night. He's going to announce it like he's some kind of hero. Friday. 3 days away. Keisha, I said slowly, my mind racing, don't say anything to anyone. Not Mama. Not Daddy. Nobody. Let him have his dinner. Let him make his announcement. Why would you? Trust me, please. Just trust me. After I hung up, I called James. We need to move up the timeline. I need every document certified, notarized, and in my hand by Friday morning. Maya, that's 3 days. James. Friday. Please. He sighed. All right. But this is going to be dramatic. Good, I said. It should be. Friday arrived like Judgment Day. Marcus had texted everyone. Family dinner at the old house. 6 p.m. Important announcement. Don't be late. I showed up with a leather folder under my arm. Mama had cooked her famous fried chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, cornbread. The smell was heaven, but my stomach was too twisted to enjoy it. Baby girl, you look nice, Daddy said, hugging me at the door. He looked older. Tired. The stress had aged him. Thanks, Daddy. I kissed his cheek, noting how the house sparkled. Donald had finished the work 2 days ago. Every inch perfect. Marcus arrived last, naturally. 30 minutes late. Designer watch catching the light. That swagger in his step like he owned the world. Family, he announced, spreading his arms wide. Let's eat first. Then we'll talk. Dinner was tense. Aunt Patricia kept glancing at Marcus suspiciously. Uncle Jerome ate in silence. Keisha wouldn't look at me, afraid she'd give something away. Mama picked at her food, clearly dreading whatever announcement was coming. Finally, Marcus stood up, wine glass in hand. That's when he said it. The words that started this whole story. I have an announcement. I've decided to sell the house. The room exploded. But I stayed calm. Deathly calm. It's worth about $400,000 now, Marcus continued over the chaos. The market's hot. I've already got a buyer lined up, closing in 30 days. His eyes found mine across the table, that insufferable smirk. Sorry, Maya. I know you have some kind of sentimental attachment. But business is business. I took a slow sip of water, meeting his gaze. My hand was steady as I set down the glass. Marcus, I said quietly. The table fell silent. You can't sell this house. Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. Maya, I know you're upset, but... You can't sell this house, I repeated, louder this time, because it's not yours to sell. The confusion on his face was priceless. What are you talking about? Of course it's mine. Daddy put it in my name. And then you took out a $60,000 loan against it. Which you defaulted on. Which led to foreclosure. Which led to an auction 8 months ago. I opened my leather folder, pulling out documents. This house went on the auction block, Marcus. And guess who bought it? The room went dead silent. You could hear the kitchen faucet dripping. No, Marcus said, shaking his head. No, that's not. The bank was working with me. The bank wanted their money. They didn't care about your promises or your timeline. I stood up, walking around the table with papers in hand. I bought this house 8 months ago. For $85,000. Every penny I had. Mama gasped. Daddy's mouth fell open. I handed him the deed. It's in my name. Officially. Legally. Recorded with the county. This house belongs to me. Marcus snatched the papers from Daddy's hands, his eyes scanning frantically. I watched the color drain from his face as reality hit him. You can't, how did you? How did I what, Marcus? Save our family home while you were popping bottles in Miami. Work 70-hour weeks while you bought a Mercedes. Sacrifice everything while you gambled with our parents' legacy. You had no right, he exploded, slamming the papers on the table. This was my house. Daddy gave it to me. And you nearly destroyed it. I shot back, my voice rising for the first time. You took out a loan you couldn't pay back. You ignored Mama's calls while she cried herself to sleep. You let them face foreclosure while you lived like a king. Marcus turned to our father, desperation in his eyes. Daddy, tell her. Tell her this isn't right. You gave that house to me. It was supposed to be mine. Daddy looked at the deed in his hands, then at me, then at Marcus. His face was a storm of emotions, shock, confusion, and something else. Something that looked like shame. Son, he said slowly, you lost the house. Maya saved it. I was handling it. Marcus shouted. I had a plan. Your plan was to sell it and pocket the money. Keisha interjected, standing up. I heard you, Marcus. On the phone with that investor. You were going to sell it and cut Mama and Daddy out. Mama's hand flew to her mouth. Marcus, no. Tell me that's not true. The silence was damning. Marcus's jaw clenched. Business is complicated. You wouldn't understand. Don't you dare, I said, my voice cold as ice. Don't you dare try to spin this. You were going to steal from our parents. Your own parents. I wasn't stealing. I was. You were going to make $500,000 and give them nothing. I pulled out another document. Want to know how I know? Because I hired a private investigator. Here's the contract you signed with Gregory Simmons of Pinnacle Property Group. 50-50 split. Purchase price, $420,000. Your cut, $210,000. Their cut, $0. I slammed the paper on the table. Aunt Patricia grabbed it, reading quickly, her face twisting in disgust. Lord have mercy, she whispered. Marcus, how could you? That's your own Mama and Daddy. Uncle Jerome added, standing up like he might actually fight his nephew. Marcus's face turned red. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. The debt. The expectations. Everyone always expecting me to be perfect, to provide, to act like a decent human being. I cut him off. Yeah, Marcus. That is the expectation. You want to talk about pressure? I walked closer to him, months of pain and rage finally spilling over. Let me tell you about pressure, big brother. Pressure is working 70 hours a week in a hospital, watching people die, then going home to eat ramen because you're sending your paycheck to keep Mama's medication coming. My voice cracked, but I pushed through. Pressure is selling your car, taking the bus in the rain, wearing scrubs with holes because you can't afford new ones. Pressure is watching your parents cry and being too proud to ask for help because you're supposed to be the strong one. The quiet one. The one who doesn't complain. Tears streamed down my face now. You had everything handed to you. Everything. And you threw it away for what? A Mercedes. Bottle service. Instagram likes. Maya, baby, Mama started, reaching for me. No, Mama. He needs to hear this. I turned back to Marcus. You want to know the worst part? I would have helped you. If you'd come to me, told me you were in trouble, I would have figured something out. But you didn't. You just let Mama and Daddy drown while you played successful businessman. Marcus's eyes were wet now too. But not with remorse. With rage. You think you're so much better than me. Little Miss Perfect Martyr. You bought that house just to humiliate me. I bought that house to save our parents. I screamed. Everything isn't about you. The room erupted. Everyone talking at once. Mama crying. Daddy looking lost. Aunt Patricia defending me. Uncle Jerome cursing at Marcus. Keisha holding Mama. Through the chaos, Marcus grabbed his keys. Fine. Fine. Keep your damn house. Keep everything. I'm done. Marcus, wait, Daddy started. But he was already storming out. The door slammed so hard the whole house shook. We listened to his Mercedes peel out of the driveway, tires screeching. The silence that followed was deafening. Mama collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Daddy stood frozen, the deed still in his hands. I felt suddenly exhausted, like all the adrenaline had drained out of me at once. Keisha was the first to move. She wrapped her arms around me. "You did the right thing," she whispered. "You saved them." "Did I?" I looked at our mother's broken face. "Look what it cost." "No," Aunt Patricia said firmly, coming to stand in front of me. She took my face in her hands. "Baby girl, you listened to me. What you did. That took courage. That took sacrifice. That took love. Real love. Not the easy kind." But Marcus made his choices. He's been making selfish choices his whole life, and we all let him because he was charming. Because he was the golden boy. She glanced at my father pointedly. Some of us are more guilty of that than others. Daddy flinched. He finally moved, walking over to me slowly. "Maya, His voice broke. "I failed you. All these years, I failed you." "Daddy." "No, let me say it." Tears rolled down his weathered face. "I gave Marcus everything because I thought he needed it more. Thought he was going somewhere. And I took you for granted. Took your strength for granted. Your sacrifice." He pulled me into his arms. "I'm so sorry, baby girl. I'm so sorry." I sobbed into his shoulder. Years of feeling invisible, unvalued, forgotten, it all poured out. "I just wanted you to see me, Daddy. Just once, I wanted to be enough." "You were always enough. More than enough. I was just too blind to see it." He pulled back, holding my face. "But I see you now. God, I see you now." Mama joined us, wrapping us both in her arms. "My strong girl. My beautiful, strong girl." 3 months later, I sat on the newly restored porch, morning coffee in hand, watching the sunrise paint the sky orange and pink. The house was peaceful now. Beautiful. The garden bloomed with roses Mama had planted. The porch rails were solid. The roof didn't leak. Mama and Daddy lived here now. I'd made them that offer the week after the dinner. "Stay here. It's your home. It'll always be your home." I made sure it stayed that way. They'd cried. Offered to pay rent. I refused. "You gave me life. You raised me. You loved me even when I felt invisible. This is just me loving you back." Keisha visited often, helping Mama with the garden. Uncle Jerome and Aunt Patricia came for Sunday dinners. The house was alive again. Full of laughter and love. Marcus. We hadn't heard from him. Daddy reached out a few times. Left voicemails. Sent texts. Nothing. Some wounds take time to heal. Some bridges take longer to rebuild. But I didn't feel guilty anymore. I'd done what needed to be done. Saved what needed saving. Daddy came out on the porch, 2 coffee mugs in hand. He'd aged these last months, but there was peace in his eyes now. "Morning, baby girl." "Morning, Daddy." We sat in comfortable silence, watching the neighborhood wake up. Finally, he spoke. "You know what I realized? This house, it was never really about the house. It was about what it represented. Legacy. Family. Roots. And I prompted. And I realized legacy isn't about who you give things to. It's about who you trust to protect them, to preserve them, to sacrifice for them." He looked at me. "You did that, Maya. You're the real legacy of this family." Tears pricked my eyes. "Daddy." "Let me finish." He took my hand. "Silence doesn't mean weakness. Your quiet strength held this family together when we were all falling apart. And I'll spend the rest of my life making sure you know how much that means." I leaned my head on his shoulder, feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Validation. Home. The house stood strong behind us, built on sacrifice, saved by love, and finally, finally belonging to someone who understood its true worth. This home was built on sacrifice, not lies, I whispered. Daddy squeezed my hand. And it'll stand for generations because of you. The sun rose higher, bathing everything in golden light. Somewhere out there, Marcus was nursing his wounds and maybe, just maybe, learning his lessons. But here, on this porch, in this moment, I was exactly where I needed to be. Strong. Seen. Enough. Sometimes the quiet ones aren't weak, they're just waiting for their moment to roar.